What is going on, my beautiful DC brothers and sisters? It's your boy, the Truth 31. Hit like, subscribe for all that DC goodness on that face, neck, and chest. And I received a request from a loyal DC sister by the name of Belle Reeve Mendez. So make sure you go follow her on YouTube, give her a like, give her a subscribe. And she's like, yo, Truth, why don't you do a DCEU ranking? And I was just like, well, if I do that, that's going to be a fucking 40-minute video. So I'll try my best to edit it down and make a short video, but knowing myself, that's just gonna be like fucking a Zack Snyder 4-hour epic. But I'll do my best. So here we go. All right, number 8, Justice League, garbage, ass juice, should be burned, should be thrown into the pits of hell where it belongs. We should never ever see this abomination ever again. It's garbage. It reeks of death. That's what it is. It's the movie version of Xbox. Just forget it. It's trash, garbage. Number 7, Birds of Prey. Birds of Prey, I'm not the biggest fan of this movie. First of all, the title alone is so annoying. It's so, it's so like wink, wink, trying to be clever for its own good. And it just doesn't work because no one knows Birds of Prey. Like hardcore comic book fans, we know Birds of Prey, we know Black Canary, we know Huntress, we know Orphan, which for some whatever reason, Orphan is not the Orphan from the comics, and she swallows a diamond ring or diamond jewel that contains pics of Roman Sionis, played by Ewan McGregor, who's fantastic, by the way. I love his performance, but it's not the Black Mask that we were hoping to get. And it's a completely different interpretation of the character, a different iteration of the way the character acts. And he has a relationship with Victor Zsasz. I don't like that whole dynamic. Is really weird to me. Like I don't know what's going on, but it's not the Black Mask that we got from the comics. Margot Robbie is fantastic as Harley Quinn. I love her performance. She's really good in this movie, but it's just not for me. It just, I don't know. I think it should have been called Harley Quinn. Like, forget the fantabulous emancipation of the stupid ass title, like whatever it's called. Just call it DC's Harley Quinn, because that was one of the main reasons why this movie wasn't as successful as Warner Brothers was hoping it would be. Because again, Birds of Prey, no one knows who the hell Birds of Prey is. Just call it DC's Harley Quinn, just like the animated show on HBO Max. It's just called Harley Quinn. But the movie overall itself, the plot was trying to be like Quentin Tarantino, where it moved with the story and the plot moved forward and then moved backward. They try to play within the timelines with the plot structure, which tried to be like Quentin Tarantino-esque, but it just didn't. It just wasn't working. like nothing. The action was fine. And people were like hyping up the action like it was like fucking on some John Wick level, but it wasn't. Like it was on par with every other action film we've ever seen. So it wasn't anything special. It wasn't anything unique for me. The Black Canary wasn't the Black Canary that I like from the comics. Nothing was like the comics in this movie. So unfortunately, it just didn't work for me. I know some people like it, which is, more power to you. But for me, it was just one of the weakest of the DCEU films. So there you go. Number 6, Suicide Squad. Again, this is another one that's hard to judge because the movie we saw is not David Ayer's original true vision of what he directed, of what he made. Like David Ayer's vision is locked somewhere in the Warner Brothers vault along with the Schumacher cut. So until we get that film, until we see that film, this is just another, butchering of epic proportions. Because again, like if you know the story, because of the backlash that BVS received, because it was too dark, it was too blah 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 this. Warner Brothers came in and completely removed David Ayer from his own fucking film and just hired I think it was a trailer park company, a trailer park studio to completely re-edit everything and make it more like Deadpool, make it more like a music video, which is what you got essentially. Like when you watch the Suicide Squad in 2016, it's not anything of what David Ayer wanted in the first place. Like it plays like a music video that you would see on fucking BET or some shit like that, and that's not what we were led to believe. Like if you saw the Comic-Con trailer, and David Ayer even mentioned this, I think it was on Twitter. He said the Comic-Con trailer is much more in line with the original film, with his original version, which is dark, complex characters, character arcs, character depths. And in this movie, you didn't get that. But as it stands, it's fine. It's fun. Again, Jared Leto, I like what he's doing. I just wish we would have seen a little bit more. Margot Robbie, great. Jay Hernandez, I think he didn't die in David Ayer's original version. I think he had a much more character depth to him. But in this movie, which strangely enough, he's like one out of all the cast members in this movie. He's the one that really gets a character arc. Like you really feel for El Diablo. Like he's really good. And of course, Jay Hernandez sells the character, and he gets like an emotional arc in this movie, while everyone else is just sort of there. I know, and you get some backstory to our Harley Quinn, especially if you watch the extended edition, the extended cut of Suicide Squad. You get the relationship between Joker and Harley Quinn, but again, not as in depth as what we were gonna get in Suicide Squad with David Ayer's original version. And again, like Joker, Jared Leto was fine. He's just not in it enough. He has like 10 minutes of screen time, if that. It's just like, it's just, again, it's hard to judge this film because it's not what David Ayer wanted. It's another just butchering of the DC universe by Jeff Johns and the dumbass executives at Warner Brothers. But overall, as it stands, I don't like the putties, like those villains. I like Will Smith as Deadshot. He's charismatic. He's always good. Again, like the cast is not the problem. It's just the way that this movie's edited. Like the editing in this film is horrendous, and now we know why. But again, overall, it's just a movie that you turn your brain off and you just don't pay attention to it. But again, we're waiting for the David Ayer cut. Like let me know when that shit arrives, and then I'll watch it, and then we can have a complete rating for this film. But overall, it's number 6. So number 5 would be my boy Shazam. I love this movie, Shazam. This movie is awesome, and it's weird because this movie gets a lot of hate within the hardcore DCEU fanboys, because it's not the dark tone. But again, this is Shazam, people. Like Shazam is a kid who gets the powers of Hercules, of a god, and he's basically like fucking Superman, just a boy. He's having fun. Like it's not supposed to be dark. It's supposed to be fun. It's supposed to be lighthearted. And by the way, this movie has some really fucking dark elements to it, especially with the boardroom scene where Mark Strong confronts his family, and then all the fucking demons pop out of nowhere, and they all start attacking everyone and killing everyone in that boardroom scene. That is some heavy, dark shit. Especially, like, this is a kid's movie, for God's sakes. So all these people complain that it's not that it's not dark enough. Bro, that scene was dark. And Zachary Levi as Shazam, he's so good. Like, he fits the role so good. He's funny, he's charming, he's likable, and the rest of the cast is really good and solid. And when they turn into the Shazam family, that's a great moment. Like again, this movie has so much heart to it, and so much just it harkens back to that old school 80s movies. Like this movie reminds me a lot of Gremlins, like the 80s movies from the past. It has that old school Steven Spielberg vibe to it, which I really dig and I really love. One of my only complaints about this film is I wish it would have had a little more action to it. Like it feels like it's not as grand in scope as I wish it could have been, because Shazam is a powerful character, and he's like, obviously in the comics he fucking whooped Superman's ass. So he's legit, he's OG. But I know this film had like a lower budget than every other DCU film, so I think that's why it doesn't feel as doesn't feel as grand scale as I wanted it to be. But hopefully, with the inclusion of Black Adam with The Rock, hopefully they raise the budget and they give us that epic showdown, which they have to, right? Especially like if you're gonna introduce Black Adam, if you're gonna introduce Superman, Henry Cavill, hopefully in the next film, like the stakes have to be raised, and I think we're gonna get like an epic showdown like we got in the comics and in the animated series. But again, I love Mark Strong. He's always great as the villain. The parents of Billy Batson, like of his foster parents, like they're really good. I love the father and I love the mother. Like they're awesome, and it has a great moments here and there. Where it's all about the theme is you don't have to be you don't have to be blood related to be family, and that's what I really like about Shazam. Like it's really like they treat the foster kids as real as like they don't treat them as foster kids, they treat them as their real family. Like they treat them as their real kids, and that's where the overall heart of this movie really comes from, and I love it. And David F. Sandberg, who comes from horror, like especially with James Wan as well. It's funny, like James Wan and David F. Sandberg, like they both come from horror, and yet like they make like one of the most like they made one of the, like the best superhero movies ever made, which is like really strange. Like I find that very strange because I think and David F. Sandberg, like he's a funny guy, especially if you follow him on Twitter. He's always cracking jokes about the DC community and his own film. So like his sense of humor really works within the realms within the context of Shazam. So I'm excited for Shazam 2. That's gonna be great, especially with Black Adam coming. That's gonna be awesome. But Shazam's awesome. I love this movie. Great moments, great action, and yeah, it's number 5. So number 4, my baby, my queen, Wonder Woman, Gal Gadot. I mean, what can I say about this movie that hasn't been said already? It's awesome. It's fantastic. It's one of the best DC movies of all time. It's one of the best superhero movies of all time. It's the best female superhero of all time. Sorry, Captain Marvel, Brie Larson, but your movie's fucking garbage, hot trash. Wonder Woman is legit. And it's funny because this movie had so much pressure on it because of everything that happened with the BVS and with Man of Steel not being, not having the greatest critical reception or box office success. So everyone was like, "Oh my god, like Wonder Woman, like this is the movie that has to save the DCEU." I remember that shit, and it was so fucking annoying. I hate it when people said that. Like Wonder Woman is the savior of the DCEU. Like shut the fuck up, all right? Like I hated that shit. No, like she's not. This one, this movie was not the savior of the DCEU, all right? And now we come, especially like in hindsight, 2020, you cut to like 3 years later, the Snyder cut is the savior. No, I'm just kidding. But there is no savior of the DCEU, so stop that shit. This is just a solid movie. And of course, the now iconic scene of the No Man Land scene where Wonder Woman like takes off her clothes, not her clothes, but whatever she was wearing, and she's in like the full Wonder Woman gear, and she like fights off all the Nazis. Like that's like one of the best scenes in the entire movie. Like it's so good, and Gal Gadot is so charming, so lovable. Obviously, she's fucking beautiful, gorgeous. God damn, like she's almost not real. Like how is she that? How is she? Like I can't even fucking speak. Like how is she? How is she that gorgeous? Like it doesn't make sense. Like it doesn't compute. But she's gorgeous, and the relationship between her and Steve Trevor, Chris Pine, who's fantastic in this film, like it works. Like their dynamic works, and it's fun. They have great banter. They have great chemistry, which is why I think Steve Trevor was brought back in part 2 because they work so well together. The action is awesome. I love the way Patty Jenkins shows Wonder Woman's like strength and power because Wonder Woman is a god, and she's like almost on the same level as Superman. And Patty Jenkins does a great job of just showcasing that power, that brute strength, but also showing her humanity because Diana Prince, like Wonder Woman is such an iconic comic book character, and Patty Jenkins really showcases the strength and the warmth of the character, which I think if it was in the other hands of like any other director, I don't think they would showcase that. But Patty Jenkins really understands the character and loves the character, so she manages to pull it off. And Patty Jenkins just fucking killed it. So I'm excited for Wonder Woman 84. and Cheetah and all that stuff. So that's gonna be amazing. So and Wonder Woman is one of my favorite DC movies of all time. It's one of my favorite superheroes movies of all time. So and I watch it on a daily basis because I love it so much. So and again, thank God they got Wonder Woman right. like thank God this movie is great because that would have been an epic disaster if it wasn't. But Wonder Woman is number 4 and number 3. Some people might be surprised, but it's BVS. BVS is number 3. Yeah. Again, the first time I watched BVS in theaters back in 2016, I absolutely hated it. I thought it was hot garbage, especially coming off Man of Steel, which I think is a masterpiece. But over time, I saw the Ultimate Edition a couple of times, and then over the years, I just like completely just warmed up to the movie, and now I love it because now like I've watched it so many times, and I've just like analyzed the film and really looked at it and really paid attention to all the dialogue and really analyzed all the the camera shots and the movie and what Zack Snyder was trying to convey about certain shots that he directed, and it's absolutely brilliant. I love it. I love, and again, I've done like countless videos on BVS. It's like, so I don't know like what else I could say about this movie that hasn't been said already. But again, Henry Cavill is perfect as Superman, and they really progressed the character here. Ben Affleck, I mean, what can I say about Ben Affleck? Best Bruce Wayne, best live action Batman ever. And it's so funny that so many people were just hating on Ben Affleck because like Ben Affleck, he's gonna be Batman, he's gonna ruin it, and he fucking turned out to be he's the best live action Batman. Like he's legit. Like that's it. Like when I think of Batman in terms of live action from now on, I think of Ben Affleck, and thank God he's coming back for Justice League, and thank God he's gonna come back for the Flash, and hopefully multiple Justice League sequels, which I think is on the horizon. But again, like the cinematography by Larry Fong is full on display. Like this movie is full on Zack Snyder. Where Man of Steel felt like a handheld documentary, like the way it looked, like the style of it. This like BVS is full on like Watchmen Zack Snyder. Like this is full on Zack Snyder, and I love it. And of course, the nightmare sequence is iconic. The fight, the whole infamous Martha scene, the Wonder Woman introduction, Jesse Eisenberg's performance as Lois Lane. That's Lois Lane. Yeah, Jesse Eisenberg is Lois Lane. Did you know that? As Lex Luthor. I've warmed up to Jesse Eisenberg as Lex Luthor. Amy Adams is fantastic. Diane Lane, and just the whole and this movie just has this mythic quality to it, and it's mythic, it's complex, it's dense. It has so many ideas. It has so many philosophical ideas to really examine and just pick apart. And of course, the Doomsday, the action is on another level. It's really well done. Again, like BVS is such a fascinating movie, and it's a fascinating film to watch, to study, and to really just comb over. And like again, like it's really a unique superhero film that's never been done, and I don't think we will ever see a superhero movie like this ever again. Well, I guess we'll have to wait to see the Snyder Cut, but BVS is great. And number 2, my boy, the king, Jason Momoa. I love Aquaman. Aquaman is number 2. I love Aquaman. Aquaman is so much fun. It's so fun. Again, I did a video on this, so hopefully you watch it and give it a like and subscribe. Aquaman is just it's bombastic. It's balls to the wall. It's fucking beautiful. It's grand in scope. Because I said in a video that I did, I said Aquaman is on another level. Like the scope of Aquaman, I've never seen in any other previous DC movie or Marvel movie, and that's just the truth. Like what James Wan created here was just so ballsy to make a movie about a character that so many people make fun of, and not only make him cool, make him relevant, but just make him fucking badass and give him a $1 billion movie. And that's something that we've never seen before, ever. And what James Wan did with the casting, the visual effects, the story, the characters, the entire Atlantis world is so breathtaking to watch it. I watched it last night, and I'm just like looking at this movie, it's just like, how did this get made? Like, how did this movie not cost like $2 billion? Because it's just so fantastical. Like the setting, the world, the characters, it's so good, and I love it. Like it's just grand in scope, and that's why I love it. And Jason Momoa, I mean, he's so good as Aquaman. He makes it work. He makes the suit work, which is so hard to do. Like, who would have thought, like, the gold, green, spandex Aquaman shit that we've seen in countless animations and comic books would ever work on the big screen, and it does. Like, Jason Momoa makes that suit work, and it's so cool. Like, when you look at it, you cannot believe how cool that suit how cool that suit looks. And of course, you have Patrick Wilson as Orm, and the third act of Aquaman. It just goes crazy with all the crab people and the giant fucking sea dragons and the fucking Kraken that Aquaman rides on top of. Like, it is insane. And Black Manta is so comic accurate. Again, this whole movie, it's insane. It's insane, and I love it. It's one big spectacle. And of course, again, it doesn't have the greatest script in the world. It's not the greatest story in the world. But where Aquaman really excels at is the performance of Jason Momoa, who really sells you like he is the king of Atlantis, and the entire visual effects and the world of Atlantis, the world of Aquaman that James Wan brings to life. It's like a moving comic book that you thought you would never see in your entire life, but he makes it work. And it's so cool to see, and I fucking love it. So, yeah, Aquaman is my number 2. And, of course, my number 1, you already know.
Lombard, Lane, I want you to meet our new stringer. I want you to show him the ropes. This is Clark Kent. Good luck, kid.
Hey, Steve.
Nice to meet you.
You too.
Hi. Lois Lane. Welcome to the planet.
Glad to be here, Lois.
Man of Steel. Love Man of Steel. Man of Steel is on another level. Man of Steel is the first movie I ever saw like 6 times in theaters. Man of Steel is the movie that got me back into the world of DC Comics, got me back into the world of, Superman and Batman and Justice League and all that stuff. And it's perfection. I think it's a perfect movie. It's a perfect Superman movie. It's the perfect interpretation, origin film of Superman for the modern era. And Henry Cavill is just perfection as Superman. Like he looks like he just came out of a comic book. He looks awesome. And Zack Snyder just perfected this world so brilliantly. It's just the music, the score, the action is incredible. Like, this is the first time where you see Superman just act like Superman and use his powers against other Kryptonians. And the final battle between him and Zod is fantastic. Like, this movie has the balls to go places where other Superman films never even dreamed of going. The visual effects still holds up today, and this movie was made in 2013, and the special effects in this movie looks better than what we get here in 2020, which is absolutely insane. And again, the performances like by Diane Lane, Kevin Costner, who's perfect as Jonathan Martha Kent, Russell Crowe as Jor-El, Michael Shannon as Zod, Lois Lane as Amy Adams as Lois Lane, Lawrence Fishburne as Perry White. Like, every bit of casting here is just perfect. They're perfectly suited for their roles. And again, the action, the story, the delving into the psyche of who Superman is, and the why of Superman. The why is he relevant? The why is he so just so part of American history is, and the way that Zack Snyder delves into the psyche and really delves into the themes of Superman trying to find his place in the world, like being an outcast, being an alien, and how that reflects our society and how society reacts to him and how he reacts to society. It's just, and how he blends into the world. It's just something that we've never really delved into especially for a Superman film, especially like for a high budget Superman film. We've never seen that. And of course, like I said, the cinematography for this film, like there are some gorgeous shots in this movie that just are so good. They're so breathtaking. They're so Zack Snyder. And Zack Snyder the man knows how to create a comic book panel to life. He knows how to create beautiful imagery. And this movie is filled with beautiful imagery. And that's why it stands apart from every other especially it stands apart from every other Marvel movie. Nothing is like Man of Steel. Like Man of Steel is in its own league. Like it's so good. Like again, and Michael Shannon as Zod, fantastic. Like not as over the top as Terrence Stamp was, but he's still solid, and his motivations as a villain makes sense. Like everything about this movie makes sense, and I love that it feels more. If like Man of Steel feels more like a science fiction movie than it does a superhero movie, and that's what makes it unique. And that's why I love it. Like it feels so different. Like this is a Superman film that doesn't feel like a Superman film. It feels like just a science fiction origin story that happens to feature one of the most iconic fictional characters of all time. So I love it. And Man of Steel is just, it's one of those films that gets better and better with each viewing. And it truly is a masterpiece. But anyway, those are my thoughts. Those are my rankings. Hope you like and subscribe, and hope you enjoyed it. But yeah, that's going to be it, my beautiful DC brothers and sisters. Hopefully you enjoyed my ranking. Let me know in the comments down below if you agree or disagree. I would love to have that conversation. And yeah, let me know if you agree with my list. Let me know if my list is wrong, even though, again, it's my list, it's my opinion. So don't get hurt if certain things are not number one, or certain things are not like number 8 or the last one. But yeah, but overall, I think, especially now, DC is in a much better place. Like DC really is coming out swinging, and especially for us DC fans, we've gone through a lot of shit, but thankfully, just like Superman, the sun has risen. We're following Zack Snyder to the sun, to the promised land, and DC fans are just like laughing and enjoying life right now, because DC finally feels like it's going upwards, and we're gaining a respect, and we're getting we're gaining fanfare, and we're just getting everything that we could have ever wanted, and that's fantastic. And that's thanks to Zack Snyder, and that's thanks to all the fans around the world who pushed for the Snyder Cut, and now look at us, we're getting almost everything that we've ever dreamed of, and that's just awesome as a DC fan, because DC fans, like I said, we took a lot of shit, but now we're getting the respect, we're getting the love, and we're getting everything that we could have wanted, that we've ever hoped for, and we're gonna get it in spade. So imagine that. The Snyder Cut was just the beginning, and we're getting the whole fucking shebang of DC goodness all over our face, neck, and chest. So who can complain about that? But yeah, that's my ranking. Hopefully you enjoy. Smash that like button, subscribe. And yeah, let's just enjoy. Let's just enjoy my DC brothers and sisters. It's gonna be a fun ride. And as always, truth out.